Hi, it's very nice to meet you. Could you just introduce yourself for everybody, please?
I'm Lisa McMullin, and I'm a Big Finish writer.
Awesome, thank you so much. So you've written for quite a few different eras of the show, and I know asking about favorites isn't the most interesting, but is there one where you had, what was the least amount of research or rewatching you had to do for one of your stories?
The easiest script to write was the Missy script, the Lumiere. That was because it was Missy and a character that didn't exist, so that was really, and because Michelle Gomez is so, you can hear her voice when you're right. It's almost like you could channel her, and her voice just comes out of your fingers, and yeah, she's got such a strong, and she's very much like Missy in. It's a fine line between the acting and the.
Yeah, she was a guest one year here, and
she was bonkers
in the best way.
Yeah, in the best possible way.
Yeah.
So that was easy to write.
Yeah. So, well, speaking of that, Lumiere is probably one of my favorite episodes of the Missy series. Where did the idea of that good regeneration of the master come from, and what was it like coming up with what that dynamic would be like?
It came from, I have to give John Dorney credit, it came from a conversation we had when we were talking about the box set, and he started talking about the Valeyard, and I went, I want to do that!
Yeah.
But I sort of, the flipped version almost. I mean, she's not a Valeyard, but that idea that you take the opposite of that character's personality and create it in a personified form. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, and it's one of my favorites, and I do some TikToks to Big Finish stuff, and that was one of the ones that I did because there's so many great lines in that. It was really, really great.
That's just because I've got And Gina McKee was so well cast. She was just brilliant, sort of Mary Poppins on acid or something. Yeah, she was fab.
Yeah, that was great. So when you start writing a Doctor Who story, especially given the unique time travel and paradoxes, I was especially thinking of how you did the Wink. Where do you start with a Doctor Who story? Do you start with an ending, or where do you start?
I'm a nightmare. I never know how things. I'm really terrible at endings, to be quite honest. I never know where they're going to go. I just start and see what happens.
I feel like that's the most fun way to do things.
Start with a premise and a vague concept and then just see where it takes me.
Yeah.
But you have to write an outline of the whole thing to send to the BBC for approval. Right. So you're meant to know where it will end, but sometimes it doesn't quite go where it's supposed to go.
So at the Big Finish panel yesterday, we got a little bit more news about Once and Future, the anniversary special. You're writing 2, which is very exciting. I can't wait. Yeah. So they announced some of the other characters, and I know, we can't say exactly who, but they mentioned that it was some unexpected pairings in the episodes. Did you get to choose who you put together, or had they already said, these are the characters we want together in these episodes?
I think, I'm trying to remember now, I think I was given the characters, and then you have to work out what the story is. Well, there's an arc, obviously, but within... I don't know how much I can say. Oh my god! I know,
well, all they've given us is what doctors are there and a couple of the guest stars, but they didn't say who is in what.
The characters. That's all.
I'm very excited because anytime there's crossover between the eras, it's always so much fun.
It's really good. I've ordered it. This is ridiculous. I've ordered it already myself.
Yeah. I gotta pre-order it yet. I'm debating if I want to get, because the shipping to the States can be a little up there. But yeah, I'm very excited because it just sounds like so much fun.
Do you not have somebody in the UK that you could get to buy it for you and then bring over when they come to the galley?
That's actually a really good idea. I should do that.
Yeah.
I should definitely do that. So what do you think it is about Doctor Who that inspires so many stories, especially, with characters that have been away from the show for so long, that people keep coming back to them?
It's all of time and space. You can literally go absolutely anywhere, anywhen in the universe, and so the stories are limitless.
Yeah.
And they're just joyous, aren't they? And the fact that you've got this one character which regenerates and regenerates and regenerates. So putting them with their other selves and other companions and mixing it up, it's always really good fun to see how they bounce off each other.
Yeah, like the multi-doctors stories are always my favorite. Like when I first started watching Classic Who, the first episode that I watched was the 5 Doctors, which was maybe not the best first episode, but I was like, whatever.
That was the very first classic one you watched?
Yeah.
You must be.
Well, I had an idea of who was who, but I was like, it sounded fun. So I have a theoretical question. So in the States and outside of the UK, Disney Plus is going to be the new home of Doctor Who, which is very exciting. So just theoretically, if Disney were to come to you and say, hey, we want to do something fun to mark Doctor Who being on Disney Plus now, you can take one Doctor Who character and one character from like any of the Disney stuff, including like Marvel or Star Wars. Who would you either team up or pit against each other?
Oh, that's interesting. Ooh. Do you know, I'd quite like to take the Toy Story characters and send them off on a journey in the TARDIS with one of the Doctors.
That would be fun. I love that. Especially because they're doing another Toy Story now too, which I don't know how I feel about that, but
it'll be good.
Yes.
Surely it'll be good.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a bad one yet.
Yes,
so,
exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking to us. It was really great, especially because, like I said, a lot of my recent favorite Big Finish has been by you, especially Wink, which came out last year.
Yeah, that was written in a week. Wow. Well, we had David Tennant in a cupboard during lockdown, so it was just like, write something for him to do quickly.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.